You've got a piece up now on BloombergPolitics.com that we're basically cribbing off of. This is the video version, talking about the Oscars this weekend, and lots of awards. We're going to spend our time talking about the Best Picture nominees and the three frontrunners. We're going to start with your third most likely, which is American Sniper. Take a look at that, and then we're going to talk about the cinema.
Do you ever think that you might have seen things or done some things over there that you wish you hadn't?
Oh, that's not me, no.
What's not you?
I was just protecting my guys. They were trying to kill our soldiers, and I'm willing to meet my creator and answer for every shot that I took.
So, Will, when we handicap the Academy, we know they like movies about movies or movies that are made in an innovative way. We'll get to those two. They don't necessarily like blockbusters. This is easily the highest-grossing film, right, of the nominated films?
Yeah, they like respectful blockbusters. They're not going to give something to Transformers, but if they're going to give us something to a movie that makes up more money than anyone expected, that certainly has the prestige of this film. You know, Clint Eastwood directed this film. It was a surprise. You know, a lot of people didn't even know this movie was going to come out this year, which is kind of a Eastwood thing. It kind of came in at the end, and not only, you know, critics were positive, but maybe a little lukewarm about it, but audiences embraced it so much in a way that I think gives a little bit of that dark horse quality. I don't think it's going to win, but it's made enough of a late charge that I think you have to at least consider it.
Will, it's a very conservative movie. You know, you wrote about this very early on. A very rah-rah, patriotic, kind of right down the middle, American flag kind of wrapped movie. How much does that hurt it with, quote, liberal Hollywood?
Well, you know, I think that gets a little overstated. In fact, I think a lot of times, you know, I think with the success of Eastwood, you've always seen his movies are not necessarily conservative, but certainly appeal to an older environment, which is, frankly, a large percentage of the Academy. Not the largest percentage, but certainly it is an older voting bloc. So I think the liberal Hollywood idea, well, I think maybe with the output of movies that come out, at least in more of the independent prestige movies, I think that's the case. But when it comes to the voting bloc, they're a little bit more conservative than people give them credit for, and I think I think the issue with this movie, I think what's going to hurt it is not so much that it's conservative, but it's definitely polarizing. Right. I think that particularly people on the people that are very liberal tend to really not like this movie, and I think that's maybe not the best take on it, but I think it's going to hurt it.
Mark, I mean, I saw this movie just a couple weeks ago finally, and I was sort of surprised by the notion that it's a pro-war movie. I mean, it really is about a guy who suffers from PTSD. It's not, to me, did not strike me as a right-wing movie, but of course it, as Will says, it was very polarizing.
I'll tell you one thing that I think will hurt it perversely is because Bradley Cooper, who's given such raise for performance, because he's gotten such acclaim from the Academy before. If this were kind of a breakout new performance, I think it would hurt it, but he's had his chance, and I think that's going to hurt it. The other thing, besides it being polarizing, is, as we go to talk about the next film, it's good. The other two, I think, will be considered great films.
Yes, I think that's right. That's right. So, Will, let me turn to your second most likely pick. You can tell us what the odds that you gave on this one were. But Birdman. Let's see the clip, and then we'll come and talk about it.
You guys know that if you crank out any toxic piece of crap, people will line up and pay to see it. But long after you're gone, I'm going to be on that stage, earning my living, bearing my soul, wrestling with complex human emotions. Right. That's what we do.
Oh, so is that what tonight was about? You wrestling with complex emotions?
Will, that's an incredible scene, one of many in this movie. Ed Norton lighting up the screen in this movie with Michael Keaton, and a key element of what you talked about why this movie could be the best picture is it's a movie's about artists, and that kind of in some ways gets at the solipsistic nature of Hollywood, this movie about the theater and about a film star and all that kind of stuff. Talk about that, and also tell us what your actual odds are for this movie winning the Best Picture Academy Award.
Yeah, you know, a month ago, really no one thought Birdman had much of a chance, and then it kind of made a run. And one of the reasons that is, first, it won the Producers Guild Award, which is always a really good indicator, traditionally, of what's going to win Best Picture. But also, actors are the actual largest voting branch of the Academy. And this movie is not only about Hollywood, it's about the anxieties and insecurities of working in Hollywood. The main character not only is kind of a, not washed up, but certainly older, former superhero actor, much like Michael Keaton himself, himself, but he's also one that wants to make a big, grand artistic statement on Broadway, which is funny because, of course, the director, who I think may very well win Best Director, no matter what happens with the film, he was kind of a similar way. This is his big, grand artistic statement. The movie is cut to make it look like there are no cuts in the film. It's very ambitious. It's very energetic, and it's definitely about Hollywood. The Oscars love, love, love to movies about Hollywood. You even saw this with Argo 2 years ago, which was not only about Hollywood, but about Hollywood saving the world, which they definitely love to vote for those. I gave this 2-to-1 odds. I'm probably a little low, to be honest. I think that it's really been a late charge for Birdman. There are a lot of people that think it's actually overtaken Boyhood, but I think it's going to be close. But as good as it is, there are a lot of people that don't like that movie as well. And I think of the three main movies, it's the one that there's one movie, Boyhood, which we'll get to, that has the fewest people that actively dislike it. There are people that actively dislike Birdman.
Yeah, well, I'm not one of those people, Mark. I got to say, I saw this movie and I thought its one flaw is it doesn't have a great third act, but the first two acts are as exciting to watch as anything I've seen in a long time. Sat there just engrossed. The performances across the board were incredible. The technical sophistication on display. I was just blown away for the first hour and a half of the movie. Thought it was fantastic. If it won, I would be perfectly happy.
You know, again, we'll talk about Boyhood now, but just to bridge that, you know, the performances in Boyhood are distinctive because you've got some amateurs in the film.
Yeah, right, sure.
This film features strong performances from pros galore, and Michael Keaton's got a lot of attention, but Norton, you know, just everybody says,
and Emma Stone is incredible.
Just everybody
the movies are all fantastic.
Super strong. So let's look now at the film that when I saw it, before it was released at a screening, I said to myself, this film will win the Academy Award for Best Picture.
To beat, right?
And I still think it's the case. Will brought one last clip with him. Let's roll Boyhood.
You know what I'm realizing? My life is just gonna go like that. This series of milestones. Getting married, having kids, getting divorced. The time that we thought you were dyslexic. When I taught you how to ride a bike. Getting divorced again. Getting my master's degree. Finally getting the job I wanted. Sending Samantha off to college. Sending you off to college. You know what's next? Huh? It's my funeral.
Well, incredible piece of filmmaking, and as I said, I thought from the beginning it was going to win. To the extent they've blown it by not running a good Oscar campaign, what has Boyhood done wrong that might leave itself coming up short?
Yeah, you know, certainly it's the best reviewed film of the year, and you're right. A lot of people, when they saw it initially, it's definitely the film you feel like in 20 years, as good as Birdman is, as good as American Sniper is, this is the movie they'll probably still be talking about. There's been this strange sense, and you wonder if you're right, if it is part of like the advertising for this. There's been this sense that somehow Richard Linklater, the director, just kind of made it up as he went along, and somehow, like, I've actually heard people say, well, listen, if you take away the gimmick of following it over 12 years, then it's not that great at all. I'm
exactly.
like, well, yeah, if you take away the chicken, the Kentucky Fried Chicken, you don't have any food, but this is still something, nobody else made it.
You still have a biscuit and packets of honey.
Right. And to me, it is, and you know, one of the great things about the movie is actually something that actually hurts it with voters, is it's not actually, I think people that haven't seen it think it's much more big and dramatic, and sometimes people, when they hear this really well-reviewed movie, they expect these huge, dramatic, overarching moments that you expect of a Best Picture. And I think one of the reasons the movie's so great, and I think why people have responded to it, is because it's quiet. It's all about like the accumulation of experiences in life rather than big dramatic moments. That clip, which may be the best scene in the movie, is actually one of the more dramatic moments in the movie. So I think that's part of the reason it's lost a little bit of steam to Birdman in that, but still, you still kind of get a sense that it's so beloved that it's going to hang
All right, Will Leitch, thanks so much again. Will's piece is on BloombergPolitics.com right now.